Hi guys, and welcome to my review of this episode of Raw. So this episode of Raw basically kicked off with Roman coming out. He was basically joined by CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. Cody asked Roman the question of what was in this for him, which. Again, then we knew what his answer was going to be. Is the fact that the Usos are kind of embroiled in this War Games team, kind of like answers the question, which is kind of like what Roman ended up going with. He was, and then it was we basically got the whole purpose of this kind of like promo was to kind of. Show this sort of mistrust between the team that we've got here, because we basically had Cody responding to this by saying, well, if you're invested, that's good enough for me, so welcome to my team. Which was like, and it was which was weird, because it was like did Cody was kind of like the late comer to this team. So it just felt really odd. And then there was like CM Punk. We basically had interjecting and going, what the hell are you talking about? This is kind of like my team. And yeah, so I think it served its purpose of kind of like offering the intrigue. I do probably think it's a bit of a red herring, to be honest with you. So I don't really look too much into it. But yeah, we basically finished this off with Roman basically saying that he was still interested under the titles. Declined to comment whether he was talking about CM Punk or Cody on this. My personal feeling is we are more leaning towards CM Punk here. We probably are kind of getting this out of WrestleMania or something. But yeah, I think that's the most intriguing part that came out of this promo. I think that's something that will have the internet talking for sure. So we basically followed this up with a match between Gunther and Carmelo Hayes, which was a solid match. It totally lived up to its expectation. We kind of like I kind of, again, it was one of those solid matches that was only let down by the predictability of its outcome, because I was kind of like knew that Gunther was going to come out victorious here. Although it does do these spots that really kind of make you doubt it. That we basically had Gunther come to whisper the second to get counted out and all of that stuff. We had Carmelo working his way out of his sleep and stuff like this. But yeah, none of it really kind of like got me here. I still was still 100% that Gunther was going to come out victorious here. So yeah, we basically had this backstage segment then continuing on from the opening promo with the Babyfaces War Games team, where basically Jay and Jimmy were basically telling CM Punk and Cody to get basically on the same page. And what I noticed about this backstage segment is is that Jey Uso kind of, I feel, works so much better when he's bouncing off Jimmy. And that really struck me, because yeah, during this backstage segment, I thought that Jay was on fire here, and I think that the fact that he was able to kind of bounce off Jimmy was kind of like the catalyst for that. So yeah, we then basically and had this promo by Dominic Mysterio. Again, I think his like skills are getting better every week. I think Dominic Mysterio is just going to be this really kind of like be shot to the moon, really. He was interrupted by basically what we essentially got as Stu, or this Little John Cena. And it basically kind of like just threw me back to the days where we kind of got Hornswoggle and stuff, people like that coming out, and we were back into that period of. It felt like we were back into that period of these little people, they're so funny and stuff like that. Obviously, I don't want to get too much into it because obviously, I'm not a spokesperson for these people. Obviously, these guys, obviously, they were obviously cool with it. So I think that we, so yeah. It is what it is, but yeah, it wasn't to my personal thing. Yeah, it didn't really work for me, but yeah, that's just me. So we basically we weird thing was about this. Well, the funniest thing about this was that we then proceeded with Dominic Mysterio absolutely flattening Little John Cena. And then once he was completely flattened out, I was like, notice, like nobody at no point did anybody come out. Apart from Rey Mysterio, who comes out just way too late. He wasn't saving anybody. Like poor little Cena was kind of like totally out for the count at this point, so it was weird. I mean, he did have a next match with JD McDonough, so there was that, but yeah, it just yeah, it was like a bit late, right? So yeah, like I said, we then basically went into the match between Rey Mysterio and JD McDonough here, and we basically yeah, again, this was another solid match. I do feel like the most surprising thing about this was that Rey Mysterio won, because I wasn't entirely confident that Rey was going to pick up a win here. But yeah, he did. So yeah, I was surprised by that. We then basically had the promo with the women's War Games team. This was started off all basically by Becky Lynch, who just continues to be such a fire heel, and yeah, her mic skills, her humor here, basically I did spot, and it did kind of still tease that little bit of, in the same way that they did with the men's babyface War Games, where they're not entirely kind of on the same page. We had Becky Lynch basically comically referred to her as this team, but she had just assembled herself, although she was literally the latest comer to this team. I did spot the looks by Nia Jackson, Lash Legend, when she said this. It did kind of like remind me of this kind of like Seth Rollins Vision type thing, where basically Seth Rollins was basically saying how he had kind of like assembled and he didn't really need him, and Rebecca will go, what? It did kind of remind me of that. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how all of that kind of manifests Saturday night at Survivor Series. But yeah, rather expectedly, this was basically all interrupted by Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, AJ Lee, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss coming out. We basically had AJ Lee cutting the promo. This all like culminated in the girls having the brawl. yeah, we then the next match we then got was Penta and Solo Sikoa, which was cut short by Penta unfortunately getting injured. So yeah, wish him well in this speedy recovery. But yeah, it's one of those things. It sucks, but yeah, that's basically what we got. So yeah, wish Penta well. And then we basically got the main event between the Usos and Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre to basically determine who gets the advantage at War Games. And again, this was another one of those main events. It was a solid match, but it was only kind of let down by the fact of the predictability of the ending, because we knew that this was going to end in chaos. We knew that all the other War Games team members were going to come out, and that's essentially like what we got here. We did have Logan Paul picking up, basically end up picking up a win for Team Heels here. Well, I'll just call them, or Team Vision, should I say? But yeah. So we yeah. But like I said, we knew that this was going to descend into chaos with basically the Vision getting involved with Cody and CM Punk coming out to equalize, and we knew that it was kind of being like Roman and Brock Lesnar were going to be the big kind of stable marks. We got Roman basically coming out to kind of like clear everybody out. This was before Brock had come out, and then we had the end credits roll, which has started to become a trend that they've kind of do with this kind of like the fake ending before Brock Lesnar comes out, and it feels like I've been going back to the well a bit too much with this, because it started to get a bit predictable now. Yeah, so we had Brock Lesnar coming out. We're probably going to get loads of memes because he comes out and slips over. It was kind of like a ripped jeans all over again. So yeah, we're going to get loads of memes about that now and stuff. So yeah, basically, but yeah, it ended up with basically the Metal War Games brawl before going off air. So yeah, it's it all did its job in terms of creating intrigue and anticipation for Survivor Series. I thought this was a fine episode of Raw. It wasn't as good as it's been the past couple of weeks, but yeah, it was a fine episode of Raw. So yeah, that pretty much concludes it. So yeah, thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, don't forget to ring a bell for notifications. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Please feel free to let me know down in the comment section about what your thoughts of this episode of Raw was. And I will see you guys in the next video. You guys take care.